So when will the final be played then? Okay, first leg set for April 27th at the Estadio Olímpico in Mexico City. The second leg, May 4th at Lumen Field in Seattle. Oh, baby, we got the dream matchup. MLS versus Liga MX in the CCL final, Herc. Does this Sounders team then represent the best ever chance for MLS to finally win this competition?
Given the circumstances? No, not even given the circumstances. We're talking about the best Major League Soccer team over the last decade. Yes, it does represent the best opportunity Major League Soccer has at winning this competition. Not only because they are the best, but given the circumstances of where Pumas is actually today. This is the first time in a final, in a CONCACAF Champions League final, where the Major League Soccer team on paper should be considered the favorites. They are considered the favorites. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's what it is. The Seattle Sounders are the favorites in this matchup because, quite frankly, they're a better franchise, they're a better team, they have better players today, but all that goes out the window because we've said that how many times of every single team that's played against Pumas. But it's a dream matchup. It's a very tasty matchup. The last team to let, the last Mexican team to let a foreign club win this competition was Pumas when they lost to Saprissa.
Yes. It was a CONCACAF Champions Cup way back then, but
that's what DC United won. Does that not count anymore?
No. When DC United won it, let me tell you, buddy, it counted big time. I got to agree with you. Absolutely, this is the best chance. One, I think we got to acknowledge how well Seattle is playing in this competition, right? Their series have not really been close. You go back to the round of 16 against Motagua, it's a rout. They win that second leg 5-0. Yeah. Same against Leon in the quarterfinals. I mean, was that ever really in doubt? And I think you could say the same about the semifinals here against New York City FC. As far as the team is concerned, too, I don't want to get too far into the matchup with Pumas. Just if we're talking about Seattle, I think you can also make the case that based on the talent and really the concentration of international talent, Herc, that's why this Seattle team is best poised to finally get over the hump in this competition. If you go back to the early days of MLS, like the 90s, early 2000s, where there weren't a lot of teams in the league, you had concentrated talent. Chicago, LA, DC, you might have had 8, 9, 10 guys who were international players. Herc, go through the Seattle roster. I mean, just current internationals, I think you've got 8 or 9. That's not counting guys like Nico Lodeiro, Freddy Montero, who have been internationals but maybe aren't representing their countries anymore. If you count those guys, you got like a dozen international quality players in Seattle. I don't think we've ever seen a team that deep in modern MLS. That's why I'm giving Seattle the edge here, because forget Pumas. Just their quality. We've never seen it in this league. Yeah, for a second, let's for a second forget Pumas, because we'll get to them in a second. We'll give them their due. But Seattle, you talk about the international talent. Well, sometimes that international talent doesn't translate over to the league, to Major League Soccer. Last season, we were talking about, or I should go, actually 2 seasons ago, we were talking about and Nico Lodeiro being MVP candidates alongside Joao Paulo. You had 3 MVP candidates on a single team. They're still together. You have Christian Roldan playing MVP-like football when the Seattle Sounders in this CONCACAF Champions League. You've got a Stephen Fry who's rolling back the clock. You saw the saves he made last night, because I know coincidentally you were following because your book it. One more goal would have done it for you. He wouldn't allow it. They've been as good as advertised. And Brian Schmetzer doesn't get the credit he deserves. This is a man, since 2016, has taken the Seattle Sounders to a final in every year but 2018. Garth Lagaway, Adrian Hanna, the people in Seattle have established a culture that many Major League Soccer clubs wish they had, a winning culture. It goes beyond what you're seeing today. This is by far the best chance that Major League Soccer has. Yeah, and big picture, Herc, we've always said this, like if it was going to be anyone 10 years ago, when you saw Seattle come into this league, you probably would have bet the Sounders, right? Like if MLS has a flagship organization, it is Seattle. Seattle should probably be the one. Real quick, let me ask you this, because you're saying they're favorites. How important is it that the second leg is in Seattle when you say the Sounders are favorites? Immensely important, because Mexico's been the boogeyman, and playing in Mexico has been the deciding factor in a majority of these legs. And if we've seen the Seattle Sounders, how they play in Lumen Field, I mean, you talk about 5-0, 4-0, 3-1. Every single one of those games could have been a 7-goal game for the Seattle Sounders. So it's going to be massive, because in Mexico, the Mexican teams, they make themselves respected. Just ask Chelsea and Real Madrid, right? You know, Real Madrid was very happy to have those last 30 minutes there at the Santiago Bernabeu and not at Stamford Bridge.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.